Hello, and welcome to Prog Review 551. Today we're talking about Nursery Cryme. For the mob has spoken. The mob has spoken. There wasn't much in it, but thank Christ, Nursery Cryme came romping across the line. I won't be doing that again. I won't do that. Nah. Democracy doesn't work, as we've now evidenced. It's Genesis album. Is it the second? Is it the third? How do you want to play it? I like to think of it as the second studio album, but you know, you've got that shitty pedo produced debut, Jonathan King, convicted paedophile. Remember, every time you buy a copy, you're funding a pedo. Not good. That's not cool, is it? We've got Nursery Cryme. And it's notable because it's one of those transitionary albums, and for a transitionary album it does very, very well indeed, for it marks the debut of Stephen Hackett and Philip Collins. Indeed it does, because they lost various members in between, you know, more drummers than Spinal Tap, old Genesis, isn't it, you know? But yeah, the music opens with, this album, it's got everything. We go from nursery rhymes, not nursery crimes, to Greek myths with a little bit of vaudeville in between. We have horticultural history. It's got something for everyone, this record. So yeah, we start with Nursery Cryme music box. But Nursery Cryme's the album, isn't it? Oh, now, have I actually listened to this? Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Because I'm winging it. I'm just reading this all off the Wikipedia, you see. It was released 12th November 1971. I'm still not well. It opens with the music box, it's based on a piece by Andy Phillips. It's not much of a piece because it's just him shuffling around on the chords and that F sharp, I think it was called. You can hear that on his. He did a compilation of offcuts, which I've conveniently forgotten the name of. It doesn't matter, but. But yeah, it went through various changes and whatnot. You can hear a version of it called was it Manipulation on the green box set on here. It's on the thing, you know, on the bonus discs of the green box set. Because this is the SACD DVD version, of course. Of course it is. Of course. I was going to get the record, but I thought, no, we'll do that. That's what I want to see. It went through various developments, and I think even Mick Barnard had a little doodle over it before it came out the other end. And it is, again, thing on my phone there. It's got everything. It's got murder, intrigue, the sexual awakening of a boy's ghost. Oh, what more do you want? And Old King Cole, which is a nursery rhyme, not a crime. And again, you see that the band have taken what they did on Trespass and they've developed it. So you have, you know, big action pieces, you know, explosive moments, quiet, more, you know, reflective. You know, they're really, you know, you can see that as songwriters they've developed. And again, when they did it live, you know, Gabriel did a whole thing where he had put a mask on the old man. See, nowadays, if Gabriel did it, he'd start off with a young man mask and then pull it off to reveal a hideously aged old man's face. Anyway, it's a raucous number. It's very good, and it's good because you've got a very good interplay between Tony Banks's keyboard and Steve Hackett's guitar. Again, at this point, you know, they were kind of complimenting each other and not fighting over who was what. And you know, it's good because the way Tony Banks manipulates his sound, you're not sure whether it's the guitar or the keyboard, and it's really good interplay. I like this. Takes us into For Absent Friends, very small tiny little song, but a really sweet little number, marking the debut of Mr. Philip Collins on the vocals. Much debate about who was singing on it, because, you know, Gabriel does backing vocals. He does BVs on this. That's a technical term, BV. That's what they say in the recording industry. So, you know, so say I'm putting down some BVs. Do you want to listen to it on my cans? That means I'm putting down back vocals. You want to listen on headphones. See? And yeah, it's a nice little number. Yeah, very pleasant. And again, what I like again with Genesis albums is you have this, you know, it's kind of a natural wave of, you know, loud, big pieces with more small, reserved, but still, you know, detailed. It's a nice little detailed observational piece. This takes us into the return of the Giant Hogweed. Well, you know, what can I say? It's completely bombastic. And it is about the historical fact about the introduction of the giant hogweed, a plant which is incredibly poisonous. But in this version, it's almost like they're triffids. They're not triffids. They're just very large, poisonous plants, and you can get giant, you know, pustules if you touch them. You know, very, you know, horrible burns from these things. So they are dangerous. And again, you know, it's a roller coaster ride. And it is good because there's a couple of bookends here. Side one is bookended by, you know, Music Box and Return of the Giant Hogweed, and then you've got Fountain of Samesis on the other side. So you've got these kind of really large pieces that you know, get you through. We turn over, if it was an imaginary LP, and start with Seven Stones, which for me is probably the weakest song on the album. Yeah, there's lots of bombast in it, and, you know, there's got the I think there's Mellotron. Those big chords, you know, those big chords that old Banksy does. It's all right, but again, on this record, it's, you know, yeah, it's all right. This takes us into Harold the Barrel, which we go into full vaudeville music hall mode. Indeed, we do. And again, it's Phil Collins doing the vocal lifting. Gabriel's in there as well, but if you listen, he's actually Phil Collins, you know, and Gabriel does the, you know, the softer bits, and I like it because, again, the band gets to show off their sense of humour. Very British sense of humour. There's many from the BBC, and again, it breaks up. You know, it sits well between Seven Stones and Harlequin. Again, I must commend the track listing. You know, the way that they've paced the record. It's very good. It's very good. I like Harlequin. Oft overlooked, I think. It's probably one of the overlooked songs from the Genesis back catalogue. And I've always liked it. I know it's a bit fey and it's a little bit twee and it's a little bit, you know, folky. But it's also absolutely bonkers as well. If you listen to it, you know, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on with the guitar, and I like the way they've got the guitars going. And there's lots of it's very busy. It's a very busy piece. You don't realise it though at the time because you're listening to the always the same. You're listening to that, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. But yeah, I really like it. And again, I think it was it's one that's oft overlooked. And then we have the crashing, massive chords of the Fountain of Samesis. Again, we do our Greek Roman mythology, and yeah, it's about it's a topic in it at the moment. People that want to be men and women, you know, changing gender, and here's somebody who gets to be both. It's the story of the first hermaphroditus. Very dramatic, lovely. Again, very well recorded. The good thing about the surround sound mix of this is you really get a sense of just real power. There's real power there in the playing, and a fantastic way to end an album. You can't. You know, yeah, it's amazing for a band that had only been together a very short period. I mean, like drums and obviously the core three. You know, they've been known each other a while, but to have, you know, a new drummer and new guitarist come in and to produce a record with such strength and variety, and those members, you know, stamping their authority on the record, is impressive. It is impressive. If I were to suggest someone's first Genesis album, I'd probably always point them into the direction of Nursery Cryme, because it's not too complicated. It's, you know, it's not too far out there. It's not the Lamb. It's not like Selling by the Pound, which is again very English in places, but almost follows the same template, you know, as Nursery Cryme. Again, they're constantly refining their act, and that's what we get with this run of albums. So yeah, I mean, it's as good as you're going to get. I'm going to give it 5 7 stones out of 5. That's 5 7 stones out of 5. You work it out. I'm going to do it because I'm a Genesis creep. You know that. This is a completely biased opinion you've asked for. So yeah, this version, like I say, the surround sound version, yeah, it's a bit odd in places. I mean, because the vocals are kind of pushed a little bit too forward, and there's some like reverb on there that you think, oh, which probably gets buried in the stereo mix. But everything is, you hear everything. This is the thing, and it's very separated, and you really hear the detail of what's going on, and that's how you can hear the blending of Gabriel and Collins's voice. You know, you can hear how they're blended in the stereo mix, because within the surround sound mix, they're obviously, there's more space for them to occupy. So yeah, I mean, if you can, you really do. I mean, is it the ultimate version? Yeah, probably. I know a lot of people would probably say it isn't, but if you want to hear the living, breathing version of it, you know, if you want to get in between the spaces of the sounds, this is the one to get. And again, on DVD, you get a lovely reissues interview as well. They did a box set, green box set, which is a part of. They also did they've done vinyl reissue. Vinyl reissue is the newer stereo mix, which again some people might not like, and it is noticeably different, because again, when I played this album on vinyl to the missus a couple of weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I don't know, it all blends into one time, doesn't it? She said, this sounds different. I said, yeah, you're right, because it is a different, you know, different mix. So even she knew, even she noticed. So there you go. So it is noticeably different, and some people might be uncomfortable with that. I'm thinking Francis Dunnery from It Bites, for example. But you know, it doesn't bother me, because I've still got where is it? There. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. Oh, they're all fallen over. These are the original Genesis CD remasters from the mid-90s, late 90s. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. So I'm not that bothered, because you can always go back to those ones. But yeah, it's a good album. It's a really good introduction to the band. You know, it's not as underpowered as Trespass, where, you know, there's only a few epic moments, you know, and it's not as overwhelming as Foxtrot. Again, I think Foxtrot can be a little bit overwhelming. It's not as complicated as The Lamb, and it's not as British as Selling Them by the Pound, because again, you really do need to know what a Green Shield stamp is, don't you? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to explain what a Green Shield stamp is. It's not a green shield, it's a stamp. Yeah, there you go. And that's why you need to go and watch my various videos, because I will try and explain what they're all about. So anyway, thank you for listening to me prattle on about, you know, the band I love, Genesis. I think we've only got, then there were 3. I mean, Genesis to Revelation, do you really want me to go there? Does anybody want to go there? But anyway, that one. You've already heard it anyway. You've only come here to hear my opinion again, just to make yourself feel good. I'm not going to give it a bad review. That'd be stupid. I only give bad albums bad reviews. So anyway, I think I've done it. I think I've done it all. And on that, there's very little else to say other than prog on.